we continue with inflation, the measurement of inflation. So in the previous class we talked about consumer price index, which measures inflation in the perspective of consumers. So today we're going to PPI, producer price index. And for producer price index, it measures inflation in the perspective of manufacturers. So for manufacturers, we have, as soon as goods are produced, it moves it moves through the distribution channel to either the wholesaler or the retailer. So both retailers and wholesalers, they are part of our PPI. You get what I'm saying here? So the producer price index is used to measure the change in the price of a typical basket of goods bought and sold by the manufacturers of an economy. So it simply talks about the input prices, the price of raw materials, the fuel used by firms in the cost of production, and also the factory gate price, which is
what's that?
The factory gate price is the amount of money spent, the cost you spend in the cost of taking the product out of the manufacturers to the wholesaler. That's the distribution channel.
I don't get it.
As soon as goods are produced, the goods, they have to leave the factory.
Yes.
Right? In the course of leaving that factory,
they go to the firms.
Yeah. So the amount of money spent on that output is called factory gate price. There's input, there are factors of production, land, labor, capital, and enterprise. These are factor inputs. They have to go through processing to give us output, which is goods or services. So the amount of money spent on those outputs is called the factory gate price. Do you get it? So the price of output is called factory gate price. Is it clear?
Yes.
So the input prices are the price of land, labor, capital used. Is it clear now?
Yes.
Good. So that's about producer price index. So we'll go to the use of PPI. So I wrote, the PPI is an indicator of future trends in the rate of inflation. So because we use CPI or CPI, consumer price index, to know what the price of the amount of the value of goods now compared to the previous year. The same goes to the PPI. It's an indicator that inflation is increasing in the economy or not increasing in the economy. You get the point here? There's inflation, and because it's inflation, okay. So we'll continue with the use of PPI. The first use of PPI is that it's the indicator to know what happens with prices in the future. So it's an indicator of future trends in the rate of inflation. Because whatever we value the price of products to, we will compare it with the previous year. So comparing it with the previous year will tell us if there's high inflation rate or not. So that's an indicator. So retailers may use it as a yardstick to pass on higher prices to consumers. So for retailers, they use the PPI also. As soon as retailers understand that they are going to buy the cost they have to pay to producers for certain products is high, they would know that they have to pass on that price to consumers. So it's an indicator to them. It's a yardstick of passing a higher price to consumers. So they would know that the price we paid last year for this product is this. Now this is the amount we have to pay to producers. So it's a yardstick to them. Because if we paid $5 on each product last year, that's what we paid to our producers last year. Now we are paying $7. It means there's additional $2. There's inflation of $2, right? So that means whatever price we have to charge our consumers would have to increase. So it's a yardstick for retailers to pass on a higher cost, a higher price to consumers. So they would know, through PPI, they would know if a high price is going to be charged by producers or not. And if they already know, it means they are going to be able to transfer that high price to consumers. Do you get the point? There's PPI, which is an indicator to know what the price is now and what the price was last year. So now that we know that the amount we are going to pay to our producers, the suppliers are high. So we have to be able to pass it on to consumers. So PPI allows that to happen. Do you get the point there? The third one, a rise in the PPI will likely cause a rise in inflation, which is measured using CPI. So if there's a rise in PPI, definitely the CPI will also increase. Do you understand? If producer price index is increasing, it will automatically increase the consumer price index. So that means with PPI, an increase in PPI would indicate that there's inflation within the economy. Because PPI, if PPI is increasing, CPI will also increase. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Any question about that? So that is PPI and the use of PPI.